Let's compare. All right, everyone, welcome to the what is today? The April 29 edition of the libp2p weekly meeting. I'll post the CryptPad. Well, let's see. If both of you guys are already in the CryptPad, then I won't post it. Yeah, so all right, so everyone knows where the CryptPad is. So should we just follow the usual format and just go down the list in order? All right, I'll take that as a yes. Okay, Martin, you're first.
Okay, so in the last 2 weeks, I looked into TLS session resumption. That would, in theory, help us to save CPU for peers that already connected before, because they can skip part of the handshake and don't need to re-verify the certificate chain. And we had a problem with this. I think Y had a problem with this on one of his bootstrapper nodes, that he was experiencing a lot of CPU consumption from the SecIO handshake, but it doesn't really matter. So they were doing peer verification all the time. And while looking at TLS session resumption, I found an issue with the Go standard library, that they do that they don't skip the certificate verification at all, but they run it even on a resumed session, which I think doesn't make a lot of sense. And I opened an issue in the Go bug tracker, but I haven't heard back from them yet. Been a few days already, but it was assigned to Filippo, so it's at the right place. Other than that, I used QuickTrace again to dig into the QuickGo congestion controller, which is now based on the Chromium code, which served us well so far. But I'm seeing some behavior that I can't really explain. So what I will do next is implement exactly the congestion controller that's written down in the IETF draft, and see if that behavior matches. So if I can get a better understanding of what's going on there.
Okay, this sounds good. All right, I'll go next. Yeah, I mostly did a bunch of like manager stuff. I'd say the biggest thing that's kind of changing course is we're trying to find a way to upgrade the priority of completing, or at least completing some parts of the specs repo. We have a lot of language implementers who really want better specs, and so I kind of talked for a while to Yusuf and Raul, and we sort of worked out a plan whereby Yusuf's going to drop some other things, probably code examples, and try to put some time into specs. And and then other than that, the security audit is going on. I've logged some bugs based on possible vulnerabilities they found. So far they haven't found anything that they consider to be every vulnerability they found so far they can consider to be low risk. There's like 5 levels, and low is the second lowest one, which is a little weird. The lowest one is information only or something like that. But anyway, so we should fix these bugs, though. A lot of them are in code that's not actually even being used anymore, or doesn't have much usage. So not blocked on anything. And the thing I'm going to try to do, this is sort of what my spare time project now, but I want to try to write a Go libp2p transport. I was playing around with some audio generation and uh, interpretation, Fourier transform stuff over the weekend to try to see if I could, generate like a set of waveforms and then sample it and recover what they were. And so anyway, I think it would be fun, not very practical, very slow, but fun project to turn that into a libp2p transport where two machines could talk to each other by playing uh, uh, tones back and forth. So anyway, it'll probably take me 2 months to do that because I'm just sort of working on my spare time. Yeah, the rest of my stuff's not very interesting.
That's so cool. We always talk about, oh, it's all we just have these interfaces and we can use everything to transport, and then we just do super and quick. But now having something really exotic there, I love the idea.
Okay, thanks.
I do too.
Thanks. Yeah, I wanted to do
think,
something that was kind of out there.
yeah, I think like tone sounds good. I mean, maybe we could. What about like infrared or something? Just
Yeah. I wanted to do something that didn't require any additional hardware.
that makes sense.
Yeah. But I did think about ultrasonic, like play tones that are above human hearing range. But I suppose that's a possible future enhancement. At the moment, I'm just trying to um, synthesize, different permutations of frequencies and encode data in them, and then be able to like demodulate that. So
Sounds good.
yeah. Okay, I think you're up next, John, because Jacob is not here.
Okay. So my update is fairly short. Last week, I've been trying to come up with a cleaner set of interfaces to refactor our current swarm and switch interfaces and make them other than just cleaning things up, the two biggest goals here are to support messages in addition to streams in a sort of consistent way, and to make it easier to keep track of resource utilization and essentially who owns what and who wants something to stay around. So I had come up with this what I thought was a nice simple graph structure where you have different bits that own different stateful components that pass messages, and by messages I mean calls, essentially, not messages as in network messages between them. But I was talking to Stephen about this and realizing that this somewhat conflicts with the fundamental libp2p design of having a central router that takes that's stateless and takes any incoming message or stream and looks at the multi-stream or multiplexed. Basically, you look at the beginning of the stream to figure out what type it is and then route it to the same place. So it's taking a bit of rethinking. I was hoping to have streams and messages fit together really cleanly. I'm not seeing that happening yet, but I'm experimenting with some new ideas. This week I'd like to write up, get this working, get a second go around. Maybe talk to Stephen and write something up so I can get other people's feedback.
Okay. Yeah, I already talked to you for a while today, so I I don't have anything much more I can contribute right now.
It's all good.
Yeah. Um, all right, so there isn't really anything else on the agenda. So unless someone has something, well, if someone has something they want to bring up, they should bring it up now. Otherwise, I think we can regain the remaining 15 minutes. All right, I'm calling it.